Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I wanted to talk about some creative uses for bed sheets and other materials in home decorating for the impoverished rental person. At one time, I rented an unfurnished basement, and I looked at this dismal place with the eyes of someone that desperately wanted to change this situation. So I decided to use king-sized bed sheets to form some rooms for myself in this big expanse of nothing. I used one of those super handy construction staplers to staple the bed sheets to the floor joists of the upstairs house that formed the ceiling to my rental. I created 4 fully functional and really cool looking rooms for myself. The sheets were used to form the walls of each room, and the closure or the door to each of the rooms was via a woman's hair clip. The sheets can be patterned or plain colored. The choice is yours, and it makes a dramatic statement to your space that you can take with you and reuse if you so desire in your next rent space. Now, Joseph lived in a huge industrial warehouse one time in San Francisco with floor-to-ceiling 12 by 12-inch windows that filled a complete wall. The ceilings were about 20 feet tall. It was a wonderful space for spreading out and being an artist, but it wasn't such a great place to actually live in. So what he did was to collect old Oriental rugs, and he created a nice little house for himself with the carpeting. It worked really well in the winter because of the insulating qualities of the carpets, and he was able to be warm and cozy through the winters. As for the windows portion of his carpet house, he rolled these up and down depending on the time of day. At night he would roll them down over the windows, and they added an extra layer of insulation to keep the space nice and warm through the nights. I was told of another creative solution. A girlfriend said that when she was a kid she lived in a place that had just one bedroom, so her father built a nice bedroom for her from old wooden doors he found. It was really cool and an interesting place for a kid to live in, and it was constructed in the corner of the living room and provided her with privacy and her very own space. This concept could work very well in the above situation that Joseph lived in as well. Tapestries and beautiful bolts of cloth can be used very creatively to drape over the ceilings of less than desirable dwellings that need it for a wonderful and truly beautiful living experience that you can take with you when you move to be used over and over again. Bed sheets are another great way to cover up ugly things or cluttered things in your dwellings. They are great for hiding washers and dryers and hot water tanks and furnaces and that kind of stuff. The neat thing about them is that they can be used over and over as needed. Maybe you have a pretty decent place to rent, but you need an extra room. Then create it in the living room of your place with bed sheets. It works really well. If you're living in really primitive conditions, such as me renting that unfinished basement, you may find that you have to build a kitchen for yourself. This is easier than you think. A good start is to get a very solid table. If you cannot swing this, then a piece of plywood that is about 3 to 4 feet wide, laid out on some sawhorses, or those really strong plastic milk crate boxes, and stack them 3 high to serve as the legs of your table will work well. You can then store kitchen things under the table and staple a bed sheet folded in half around the perimeter of the table to hide the stuff under the table. It's very neat looking. On top of this table, you have a cooking surface of a hot plate. A single burner device of some description to serve as your stove. Electric, if you can help. Electric's best because it can help with the air quality. But if you have no access to electricity, then a propane burner works well. A coffee pot, an electric coffee pot is great if you have electricity, but heating water for teas or to use as a coffee pot. As far as drinking water goes, bottled water is the way to go here. The water can sit on your table, ready for use in cooking or drinking. As far as washing up goes, you get 2 square plastic tubs from a dollar store or a secondhand store to serve as your 2 sinks. In one plastic tub sink, you put hot water that you have added about 1 tablespoon of dishwashing soap. You put all of your cutlery in the soapy water and then put your glasses and cups. You hand wash your glasses and cups first, then your plates, and last your pots and pans. The second plastic tub sink holds tepid water that you use to rinse your dishes off with before placing them in the dish drying holder that is next to this 2 sink system. In a no running water living situation, it is best if you dry your dishes with a towel. If you have running water, you can rinse your dishes more thoroughly, and in that case, you can set them in the dry rack and air dry them. As far as refrigeration goes, if you have electricity, a small refrigerator is a marvel. If you don't have electricity, then a cooler and ice is the way to go. Now for the bathroom. If you are living in a place with a flushing toilet and running water, you have no issues in this area. If you have to create a bathroom for yourself, proceed as follows. If you have running water but no toilet, you can use a 5-gallon plastic pail with a plastic snap-on toilet seat cover for it. This system works well for urine, and you just dump it once a day. The snap-on toilet seat cover stops odors, and it really is very sanitary. Rinse the 5-gallon plastic pails out once a day. Plastic pails do have a tendency to collect odors, so you need to have at least 3 to 4 of these 5-gallon plastic pails to work with. When a pail starts to smell, you leave it outside in the weather for a day or two, and the odors are eliminated. Have a second series of 5-gallon plastic pails to handle solid toilet waste. What you do for this is have one 5-gallon plastic bucket that you use as your bowel movement toilet, and have a second 5-gallon plastic bucket that is filled with peat moss, sawdust, or finely crushed leaves. This is used to cover the solid waste after you have done your business. You place about 1 inch of this absorbent material in the bottom of the pail before you use it, and cover each bowel movement with this absorbent material. This is a very sanitary way to go, and there's no smell except for the earthy fragrance of peat moss or sawdust or crushed leaves. This solid plant material covers and stops all odors. It is a pleasant to use system, and you only have to empty the bowel movement plastic pail when it is full, which usually takes about a week for one person and 3 to 4 days for 2 people. So to recap, the urine bucket is dumped daily. The bowel movement bucket is dumped once a week or so. So, the entire toilet facility will consist of 3 5-gallon plastic buckets. You can create a walled-in bathroom for privacy with the bed sheets as outlined above. This is a very sanitary bathroom facility. I have personally used this system with great success, so I speak from experience here. As far as your bedroom goes, this is pretty straightforward, and you can decorate it as you see fit. In those bed sheet houses that I have created, I was not limited to pictureless walls. I used to hang paintings from nails placed on the floor joists of the unfinished basement that had strings or wires that would hang down to the correct height on the bed sheet wall, and then hang my paintings where I wanted them. It really was a complete house, and extremely comfortable, and easy to live in and cozy. The bottom line here is that no matter what your rental situation, you can have a wonderful, creative, fully functional home that you can enjoy living in. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscription button right below this video. Take care and enjoy your living, wonderful, and creative living spaces. Bye.